Yung,
Masyadong mainit. Ay, ayan.
Start na.
Hi, Migs. How are you?
Hi, good day or good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Migs, I just saw your post, ha? Nalasalista. When was that? Yesterday?
Yesterday.
So what did you talk about?
So tungkol po sa first aid kasi yung mga bata, NSTP student, ide-deploy na sila sa iba't ibang community.
Oh.
So sabi ng mga teachers, and I'm also a professor of NSTP back then in De La Salle, kinuha nila ako para ma-recalibrate or magkaroon ng...
What is NSTP? Can you...
National Service Training Program. Yun po yung pinalit sa ROTC. So more on civic organization or civic services. Ang iniisip kasi ng mga teachers ay kailangan ma-equip din yung mga bata. Kasi hahawak sila ng mga estudyante, hahawak rin sila ng mga elementary student, wherein yung first aid training na ituturo ko sa kanila ay beneficial, no? Para sa kanila. So, Lizel, grabe, nakaka-excite, mukhang napaka-special ng episode natin yun sa KatoTALK.
And Migs, I'm a little bit nervous because our guest is a foreigner. So this is the first time that we're going to do KatoTALK in English. Oh my God, I wish hindi ako magbabakel.
Grabe, nakaka-excite kasi ibig sabihin ng KatoTALK, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, hindi lang sa 3820, but yan, nasa ibang bansa na.
Yes, may foreign guest na tayo. And what is the most important thing is the lesson that we're going to learn. Kasi he's going to talk about what is being a cadre. Kasi di ba, a lot of Rotarian doesn't know that yung mga global grant natin is one day pwedeng bisitahin ng mga cadre. And they are the one, sila yung he will explain later what is a cadre. Pero they are the one who audit and who sila yung tinitingin ng mga kung ano yung success ng isang project, or if there's an irregularity. But we're not going to talk about irregularity now kasi this is just a research. It's not an audit. So tanong natin kung bakit nagpapa-research yung RI with regards to water project. Okay?
Wow, yan na. Excited na ako. So now, let's proceed to our theme song.
Yo man, alam mo ba yung Rotary District 3820, yung boses ng komunidad online radio? Oo naman man, sila yung tumutulong sa mga kabataan at komunidad. Saka balita ko, ang dami nilang mga project ngayon eh. Doon niya ako pupunta ngayon para sumali sa kanila. Tara! Tanging lakas at pag-asa'y taglay natin, kasama sa pagbangon ng mithiin. Kalakasan ng komunidad sa bawat takbang, pananampalataya sa amang lumikhang. Ang Rotary District, sila ay nakatutok, boses ng komunidad kasama sa mga pagsubok. Inuuna ang paglilingkod bago ang sarili, tapat sa apat na hakbang sa pagsusuri. Katotohanan lamang at katarungan, kabutihan ng loob may pakinabang. Kaya lahat tayo'y tumutok sa KatoTALK, sa ating komunidad, sila ay nakatutok. KatoTALK ng komunidad ating pag-asa, pagmamahal, kapit-bisig sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat pagsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan. KatoTALK ng komunidad ating pag-asa, pagmamahal, kapit-bisig sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat pagsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan. Di nauubos ang pag-asa sa ating mga kamay, sa bawat puso may liwanag na tinataglay. Walang sawang paggabay sa taong bayan, pagmamahal sa kapwa at laging maaasahan. Sa bawat kalamidad na dumaan, presensya ng Rotary palaging naandyan. Kasama natin nung umpisa hanggang ngayon, mga programang sa atin lamang nakatuon. Mga pangangailangan ng mga kababayan, pag narinig mo ang pangalan, ibang klaseng kasiyahan. Di tayo pinabayaan anumang pinagdaanan, kayo ang nagbigay pag-asa sa mga kabataan. KatoTALK ng komunidad ating pag-asa, pagmamahal, kapit-bisig sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat pagsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan. KatoTALK ng komunidad ating pag-asa, pagmamahal, kapit-bisig sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat pagsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan. KatoTALK ng komunidad ating pag-asa, Pagmamahal, kapit-bisig, sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat magsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan. Katotok ng komunidad ating pag-asa. Pagmamahal, kapit-bisig, sama-sama, kalinga, pagunlad at pagtutulungan. Bawat magsiklab ng araw ay may bayanihan.
Hello! Yan! Alam niyo ba, mga katotok, na si Migs nasa Starbucks, pero kailangan talaga niyang we need to do this because yung guest natin is leaving tomorrow night. So we need to do this tonight. This is a recording. So yan, Migs, okay ka lang ba dyan sa Starbucks?
Yes! Okay po naman, Pipi Lizel.
Thank you for doing this, no? Thank you for always finding time despite of your very busy schedule, no? Working, studying, doctorate, and doing a lot of speaking to engagement. So talagang, di ba, the first time I saw you, no? Sabi ko, you're one of the most inspiring young, na parang talaga na tao na nakilala ko, no? Kasi you accomplished so much at a very young age. Yan. And of course, not to mention, I'm a friend of your dad. Hello, Pipi Rodel.
Shout out sa Dr. Lemery.
Yeah.
Ayan, excited na ako, Pipi Lizel. Sino ba ang ating mga guests for today? Parang marami-rami ang ating guests natin today.
Alam mo, I want to, before we start, one of our guests is one person that I really look up to in Rotary, especially sa mga global grant. You know, he is our guests is a very highly respected Rotarian, no? At saka alam mo, Migs, no? Buong pamilya nila, Rotarian, asawa, 2 anak, they are a family of Rotary, and he is very much committed when it comes to water and sanitation and hygiene project. Every year may global grant siya when it comes to wash, and minsan mayroong disease and prevention and treatment, but he is very passionate about wash. And if there's one person, no, I'm going to ask if ever someday I'm going to handle a global grant that tackles wash, siya yung tatanungin ko because he's very well versed and he really knows this area, no? So of course we have PP Romy Briton. Yan, ipapasok na ba natin?
Yeah.
And of course, he's going to.
Good evening.
Yeah. And he is the reason why I only introduced PP Romy is, of course, because he is going to introduce our main guest for tonight. Yes, PP Romy, please introduce the handsome gentleman beside you.
PP Lizel, baka naman mabenta ko niyan sa distrito, ha? Baka maybe tomorrow a lot of Rotarians will be calling me.
And say, PP Romy, can you help us with our wash project? I'll do that very, very soon.
Okay. So with me sitting here beside me is a handsome guy. Yeah. He's from Brisbane, Australia. You should know that he is one of the magical presidents this year.
Oh,
And also a PE as well. He came from the Rotary Club of Mitchelton, District 9620.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Ian is long year of experience in civil engineering, 34 long years. Yeah. With this 34 long years, you can see, guwapong-guwapo pa rin, no? Look handsome.
Cry hair. I got cry hair.
Yeah. Okay. He has a wide range of experience in design, civil engineering design, especially in water. He became a design manager at Logan Water Alliance. And he's been also a group leader and project developer at Logan Water Infrastructure Alliance. Yan. Napakagaling, no? Palakpakan naman natin si Ian. Yan. So Ian will be here until Sunday night, Sunday morning, or maybe Monday morning. He will be flying back to Brisbane. Medyo may problema sa Brisbane ngayon kasi may typhoon. So sarado, the airport is closed, right?
Airport is currently closed. No public transport in the city. The city is shut down, expecting high levels of flooding. 80,000 people is without power already, so a lot of power lines blown down. So it's the first time in about 50 years that a typhoon has hit Brisbane, a city as big as that. We have them at other times further north in North Queensland, but they usually cross the coast where there's small towns or smaller cities. This is the capital city, so it's affecting potentially a lot of people. So the worst impact should happen sometime tonight into tomorrow morning. And I'm not sure when the airport will open again. It'll depend what damage is done to the terminal with wind and rain. So I'll fly to Sydney and then do a connecting domestic flight if Brisbane Airport is open. If not, they'll wait in Sydney and then connect when the airport opens. So the last time I was in the Philippines was in November, and you had 4 typhoons in that month to the north of Manila. We were doing a schools visit, a winds, water in schools visit, and Manila schools were shut because the government was worried that there would be flooding and the children couldn't get to school. But to their credit, the school had been contacted by Rotary. The parents came in and some of the children and teachers came to the school. They cooked us lunch and showed us around, even though it was a day when the rest of the students weren't there.
It's terrible. It's terrible,
Yeah.
So, Ian, would you love to stay here in the Philippines?
No, I have a family in Australia. I'll be happy to visit from time to time. So, as I said, this is my second time in the Philippines. Yeah.
So, Ian has been a cadre since 2020. And his tenure will be up to 2026?
At this stage, up to 2026. By then, I'll be 76. It's up to Rotary International to decide whether I'm fit and able to do any more overseas travel. So I'm not sure.
I think you're more than
8 up to 80, maybe up to 80.
You can still climb the mountain.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
Okay.
Yep. So we can start questions. Or do you want me to give the introduction of why I'm here in the Philippines? Just give the
Yes,
backstory.
and if you can talk about what is a cadre.
Okay, so I'll do that first. So in Rotary, in the 7 areas of focus, Rotary has a long list of prescribed potential cadres in, say, medical area, maternal and child health, in WASH or economic development or peace and conflict. Whatever your passion is and you've got experience in, you can then apply to become a cadre. So with my consulting engineering background and my experience with volunteering and travel in Southeast Asia to India. I lived in India for 3.5 years as well and volunteered in a medical college hospital in Bangalore, and I lived in a Hindu ashram in Kerala on the south part of India as well. So I've always had an interest and passion in helping in developing countries, and that was part of my application with my CV. And when you've been working for 34 years, you have a 24-page CV that is a long list of projects that you've worked on. So I applied. the reason I applied to become a cadre, I was fundraising for a global grant project in Papua New Guinea. The district governor at the time said, "You've got the background, you should apply to be a cadre." And I had no idea then what a cadre's role was. But with his encouragement, I then applied and was then made a cadre. So the cadre position is a technical advisor to Rotary International as the primary role when given assignments by Rotary International to review a project or review a global grant application. You are then expected to be an independent reviewer and to provide your feedback to Rotary International. Is it suitable to be approved, or does it need more work, and provide feedback to the clubs that are applying? The other part of the role is that, and this is the part that I would like to do because I do a lot of mentoring of younger engineers as well as another volunteering thing I do, is actually try and work with clubs when they're starting to put a global grant application together as early as possible to provide as much guidance as to what should go into the global grant application. So that's a dual role, but the role that I'm here at the moment is on behalf of Rotary International Research. They're wanting to understand the sustainability of WASH projects in Rotary that are completed 3 to 5 years ago. Firstly, to learn what went well and what should be recommended for other global grant projects in the Rotary system, and also to identify for the projects that we audit, what are some things that would be improvements to either the operation or the maintenance or the future expansion of those projects. So there's a mix of roles there, and in Australia nobody understands what the cadre is either. I mean, I seldom get an inquiry from my own district. It's like it's just a bit of a mystery, I think, and I'm at the point now of wanting to do talks to Rotary clubs, because now I think I do understand the role, what the cadre is and what the cadre can offer to clubs.
Ian, can we pause for a while?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah? You know, when I was young at the Rotary and I heard about this cadre, I was thinking that the cadre is a policeman.
Yeah. The
I
one who
think-
finds
I
fault.
thought when a cadre
who
came
police.
to your project and he will check all of the errors that you have made.
Well, I think that was the old role in Rotary. I think it's changed now of wanting to work with clubs collaboratively, which is what my preference would be. In the past, when a project went badly wrong, then yes, they did send the cadre out to find out what happened. I think the directions we were given at the training in Makati was that we were to be eavesdropping on the Rotary Club and the operator and maintainer of it. That was so it was a whole pile of listening rather than necessarily technically auditing. But with my technical background, I have to keep asking Romy questions. So questions come up that I need to get to the bottom of. Whether they go into my report or not, they still give me an impression of how well it's managed, how it's been designed and operated for the benefit of the community. So we're really looking with this RI research, is the community still getting the benefits of money invested by Rotary 5 or 6 years ago? So there's lasting benefits, rather than the Rotary money stops and then the project fails. And there's been many examples in all categories of that happening. So,
Yeah.
and what we did in Makati with the 20 cadres working together we've developed a big matrix of standard questions to be used worldwide. At the moment, there are people in India doing WINS inspections, or what you call in the Philippines, water in schools inspections. There's people going to water projects in Kenya, and there's people coming to a number of people coming to the Philippines. I think I'm the first one to arrive. Mm-hmm. One of the other cadres flies in this weekend from Holland, and I'm hoping to meet him at the airport, but I haven't had a confirmation yet. So
I think
he's going
to San Pablo, Tito.
San Pablo, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. But before we continue, I would like to clarify to everyone that Cadre Ian is not here to conduct an investigation or an audit. No, I just want to clarify it, that the reason he visited Rotary Club of Rosario is because of doing, like what Ian said a while ago, is to for research purposes.
Yes.
Before Migs throw the second question.
Okay.
Can we pause for a while? Can we have a word from our magical president first before we go on deeper?
Sure. Can we introduce our magical
president?
Hello, Emptiness.
Hello po.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Ma'am Ness.
Hello po. Good evening po.
Ito ang aming magandang presidente. Yan.
So, thank you very much po.
Supervisor po yan sa aming distrito dito sa DepEd.
Apo.
Ma'am Ness, go ahead.
So, thank you very much for the KatoTALK host. Ma'am Lizel and PN Migs. So, I would like to thank KatoTALK. So, at this moment, I just want to thank heartfelt thank to our special guest, our distinguished guests, was Cadre Ian Cameron from Rotary Club of Mitchelton, District 9620, Brisbane, Australia. Ano po? Thanks for a week-long visit to RCC Mayuro, Lumbangan Water System. And we hope that your stay here, the monitoring and evaluation process, meet your goals. Ano po? Thanks for the observation, suggestions, and we will make us more inspired and strive more. And we will pursue our service to the community, and we will continue our role as Rotarian. Glad to note, sir, madam, that Rotary Club of Rosario was awarded as Dangal ng Rosario 2024 as Outstanding Non-Government Organization in the recent Foundation Day of our town, Rosario. So again, thanks for your support and utmost assistance for the improvement of our program, the RCC Mayuro Lumbangan Water System. Salamat po sa mga officers ng RCC at sa mga the people behind the success. Again, thanks President Ian Cameron from Rotary Club of Rosario. Good luck, keep safe, God bless, and mabuhay.
Thank you, President Ness.
Yes, ma.
Happy Lizel.
Okay.
Migs.
Yan. Can you hear me po?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so for my question, but before my question, I want to have some insights of Cadre Ian, because I'm a manager of quality. So I love how you discuss that Cadre is not an auditor, but Cadre, I believe, it's a coach and mentor. Because I believe that these mentorship and coaching program enhance sustainability and share the best practices around the globe. And this is how we do it as an auditor, as a surveyor. We must share what we learn in different settings, in different countries of the world. Because I believe that we are not perfect organization. We are not perfect in creating these projects. We must accept that. But we do, we can do so much in our capacity and in our scarce budget. But our cadres are there to give us guide, to give us this inspiration for us to continue what we have started. As for Cadre Ian, it is the WASH program. And I'm a nurse by profession. We are nurse by profession, PP Lizel. And this WASH program, for me as a public health nurse in the Philippines, it's very close to our hearts.
Yep.
Because this program save lives. And I believe in that. Because diarrhea, what you call this, unclean water could kill people, could kill children. And I saw it in my practice. And I want to be inspired by our PP Romy. Can you share about your story? Why did you start WASH? For all the areas of focus, you started. But I believe it's very challenging because WASH program have an intensive resources. The water source, the tank, and even the interaction and collaboration with different stakeholders. It's not only LGU. It's not only LGU. It's not only the local government and even the other non-government organization. Can you tell me about Can you tell me about your story of Rosario?
Yeah,
RC
it's been a while. It's already 8 years on the making. Yeah, so we started on a small global grant, and I thought one global grant will be enough. Yeah, on 2016, I applied through the request of our past president Sonia Trevino. Yeah. So ayun, the first global grant, we were able to install the water tank, and also we were able to bore holes. But unfortunately, the water is not enough during our first trial. Yeah. So konti lang yung tubig na nakukuha. Then what we are able to do only is to install a 3 horsepower submersible pump. Yeah. So it was really a challenge for us. So the people are asking for more. Only few houses is being served. So what we did is you apply for another global grant. Yeah, and yet this second global grant is not sufficient enough. So continue tuloy-tuloy pa rin kami. Yan. So to solve this problem, the third global grant which we applied for the other barangay, the barangay Lumbangan. So we prayed so hard. Yeah. The secret is the divine providence.
Intervention.
You know, we were very lucky that the boring in Lumbangan was very successful. We were able to get 250 GPM on the source. Yeah. So instead of putting a 10 horsepower motor, we installed a 15 horsepower motor. Yeah. So this well is now providing the whole barangay of Lumbangan and also delivering straight to Mayuro. So dalawa yung kanyang barangay na sinusuplayan.
So PP Romy, that is the project that Ian look into, the Lumbangan, or it's a different project?
Actually, initially, when Ian wrote me a letter, he said that he will be looking up into one global grant only. But I told Ian, no, Ian, you should take a look on the 3 global grants because the 3 global grants are interconnected with each other.
Yeah, so I put that back to Rotary International just to ask for a couple of extra days to be able to look at the combined scheme. And in meeting with Erica Gwynn, who heads up our research for WASH, she said she was happy for me to stay a couple of extra days and change my flights so we could do all the inspections, which we've just completed this afternoon with the Lumbagan Barangay Council. We had a meeting with them to just give some feedback. And last night, as part of my process for Rotary International, I have to give feedback to the stakeholders, and we had a meeting last night with Rosario Rotary Club and the Rotary Community Corps that operates and maintains the Mayuro Lumbagan water supply system.
So can you share to us what's you found out about the project and what is the good thing about it and what you've learned from it?
Yes, so I'm happy to do that. The Rotary Community Corps, I haven't necessarily had much contact with Rotary Community Corps. I'm only aware of one in our district on Bougainville, and I've tried to help them with the WASH project, but they've been very slow to get the mapping data, so I haven't been able to progress it. So initially, Romy kept talking about RCC, and I was a bit slow on the uptake. I didn't realise that he meant Rotary Community Corps, but I did get it eventually. So I think it's fantastic that the Rotary Community Corps are local residents and local volunteers who have taken on, under the guidance of Romy and the Rosario Rotary Club, the operation and maintenance of the Global Grant Project, the combined Global Grant Project. So I'll certainly be recommending to Rotary International that where possible, they should look at creating a Rotary Community Corps to do exactly what's happening in Mayuro and Lumbagan. So that's not to say there's some things that need to be done or some extra things that could be improved, but I spoke to, well, we started the week back on Monday with having a lunch with the Rotary Community Corps and meeting their members. And then we started the visits to look at the infrastructure, but also to talk to as many stakeholders. And this comes back to your comment, Migs. I will get to it on the stakeholders. So this is my first detailed look at a water supply scheme in the Philippines. So it took me a while to get my head around what is a barangay and what is the regional council and what is a PIROC. So, but now I do understand the levels of involvement of the local community. So I think it's great that in the Philippines you've got people on the ground who are local residents who know everybody, they know all the businesses, they're the ones operating the scheme. And you have a local person like Joseph, who's the plumber. He connects the water meters, and when there's a burst water main, he goes and repairs it. So that's great that you've got someone local who knows where all the pipes are that can provide and maintain a good quality water service to the residents in those two barangays. So I'll just touch for Migs on stakeholders. So some of the stakeholders that I was keen to meet with, we met with the high school, we met with all the primary schools, we went to the water filtration shops where they sell bottled water, and there's 3 of them in the scheme. So this is economic development that has happened because there's a water supply. And we also went to the laundry. They couldn't run a laundry business if they didn't have a reliable water supply. So this is an offshoot of what's happened, having a safe water supply in in the area. So, so the other stakeholders are obviously the two barangay councils for Mayuro and Lumbagun, but we also met with the mayor of Rosario Municipal Council on the Monday, and the mayor was aware of what was happening out in that barangay. And I mean, I've heard there's 48 barangays in, Rosario Municipal Council. Rotary could have work forever if you want to sort out the water supplies in all these other 46 barangays. But I think you've got a methodology and an approach with getting the local people involved from the beginning of the project. Now, I know there's been some politics and changes within RCC, and now there's even some other things potentially coming as well. But I think it's essential to have those local volunteers running the water supply scheme for the benefit of the local community. So next question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. These are my takeaways, no?
Yeah.
Now, I want to emphasize that if they are engaged, there will be sustainability.
Yeah.
If there will be an outcome, there will be obedience or continuation, diba? So, as you mentioned, there's economic growth because of a single action or intervention, and it cut across. There had been a school, there had been a shop. So even you have a single project, it will have the different output, or there will be different fruits. And I want to emphasize here that every single step have an impact. I already mentioned this in different KatoTALks episode that don't think a big project. Think small steps will do, but it has a ripple effect. And the importance is you inspire other people to do the same. And the RCC will continue it even our Rotarians will leave the group or will leave the community. Let them stay, let them stand on his or her own, and that will be a sustainable project. And I love how RI through Cadre Ian, do validation and testing of the sustainability in a third perspective, in a third view perspective. For us in the Philippines and for RC Rosario, probably it will be biased, but for Cadre, it will be a scientific, empirical basis. Thank you very much, Cadre Ian, for that. And congratulations, RC Rosario, grabe.
Thank you.
They did not only help the community. Now there's a business in the community. So as what Mig says, and what Ian says a while ago, so the engagement of the people in the barangay or the community is one of the really main factor. Am I right to say that? Are we right to say that, Ian?
Yes, I agree. Yeah. And I think the thing that's heartening for me is the commitment and the quality of the people showing leadership with the Rotary Community Corps. Now, that may change if people move out of the district or whatever, but you're getting really well-qualified people volunteering to help out. They've recently just secured an accountant with international accounting experience. She's the treasurer and she's sorting the books out in the system. So that's fantastic. Good to see. Yeah.
That's good. So are we in agreement to say that they meet the standard of RI research?
Absolutely, in terms of community involvement and commitment. Yes.
Thank you.
Ian, the next question is, what are the best practices of ensuring a long-term quality of sanitation system and maintenance in WASH? What do you think we should do? Like you've seen the Philippines, the local settings of the Philippines. So what do you suggest we do in our WASH project that we can do better, or we can...
Yeah, I think, and I've mentioned this to Romy particularly, that so often Rotary clubs rush to the global grant application and start filling the application out. I would caution, don't do that. I would ask you to work on a feasibility study first before you even go anywhere near a global grant application, and actually work out, and I've mentioned, people will be getting sick of me mentioning this, over the last week, I keep saying, where's the water balance? How much water have you got, and how many people do you want to provide a service to? Do they match? Now, Romy's had an example where he drilled a bore and didn't get enough water, and the expectation was a lot more people wanted a water supply. So this is one of the basic questions for a WASH project from the water supply point of view. What is the water balance? What are your water sources, and how many people are you expecting to connect to that system? So that already starts a whole pile of conversations with the local community. Are there any springs in the district that we could connect to and use a gravity system? Are there other people with shallow bores or deep bores? Where are the best bores? Where are the bores that have good quality water? So there has to be a community consultation going on, which comes back to a standard document in Rotary, and it's called the needs assessment. Now, the needs assessment needs to be in the community, asking them what is their priority. Do they want a health clinic? Do they want a school? Do they want a better road to go to market? Or do they want a water supply? Now, if you ask those questions, if water supply is coming out as the priority for the community, then you're reasonably confident you're starting to build some community support if you go down the water supply route. So the other thing is that in projects that another colleague of mine, Wes Nichols, and I, we've done 2 successful global grant projects in Papua New Guinea where we've developed our own, what we call the villager questionnaire. Now, that's equivalent to the Rotary needs assessment, but I think in many ways it's superior to that, because we actually asked questions about where is the water source, who owns the land that the water source is on, and are the owners of the water source willing to share their water with other people away from the water source. And in Papua New Guinea, that means in other tribal groups. If they are not prepared to sign an MOU with Rotary to say they'll share the water, we walk away. It's not something that Rotary wants to get involved with. We can't solve intertribal conflict issues. If they're not working together from day one, they'll never work together. So some of those issues need to be addressed, because in the case of Mayuro and Lumbergun, you need the land to put the elevated tank, you need the land to drill the bore on, and you need the land to do the other ground level tank for the future. So also you need permission sometimes to put a pipeline across private property. It may kill the project because you can't get from where the water is to where the customers are. So you then need an MOU with them. So I think at times the needs assessment, the standard needs assessment that Rotary asks for, glosses over all of those land-based traditional ownership issues that can kill a project. If you get started, get the money, and then find you don't have those things sorted. So we've got a standardised methodology we use for our projects in Papua New Guinea, and we have what we call stops or gates. You just start at the top, and if you can't answer the question, you stop the project until you get the information. If you get more information, then you keep going down the page progressively. Eventually, you then get to fill out a global grant application. By that time, you've generated all the information you need to go into the global grant because you've been working with the community. And I keep saying to people, it could take 18 months for this process to get to the point where you're getting approval from Rotary International for a global grant. One project we did in Papua New Guinea took us 18 months to do the feasibility, the design, get all the land issues sorted, get all the MOUs, get the costing for the project. When we delivered the materials to site, the local villagers built it in 6 weeks. So every man, woman and child helped build the project. So that's their ownership. I know the model is not the same in the Philippines. You're using contractors and volunteers for some of the pipeline, but it can work. We do it that way because the cost of the global grant is reduced because there's no labour cost. And we have volunteers who come from previous projects to train up the local people in doing concreting work and laying pipes and joining pipes and doing plumbing work. So my takeaway from all of that is don't jump into filling out the global grant because you won't have enough information. Either it'll be motherhood statements or things that you don't know, and it's not well documented, and it doesn't, when you put it in for assessment, it's likely that it won't be successful when you submit it to RI for review or submit it to a Cadre for review, which is another option as well.
Good.
Yeah. Actually, I'm taking a lot of notes here because.
Okay. And I'm an engineer, and I keep saying we need more engineering in the front end of global grants. But I'm very prejudiced.
Because
that's not to say that the community is not important, but you can work around the community if you've got some goodwill and some leaders in your Rotary Club or in your Rotary community core. But you need some champions. You need champions in the Rotary Club and not overloaded champions like this one. And you need someone in the community that's able to pull the people together. Whether the community leader, they may be a church pastor, they may be a priest, they might be someone in the school, but someone who has influence and contact in the community.
Ian, I'm learning a lot from you because our president-elect, she already talked to me and she said that on her term, the global grant that she wants is a water project, and it is in the mountain where the what do you call the itas? The aborigines. In Australia, it's aborigine. In the Philippines, what do we call that? The pardon? The indigenous.
Yeah.
Yes, indigenous group are. And
where is the location?
In Nueva Ecija. In Nueva Ecija. And it's you're going to travel, I think, 3 mountains for you to reach that location. So I told her already that it's not my expertise because I am used doing the disease prevention and treatment, or the somewhat all other aspect of global grant except water. That's my water law. So now I'm Ian, do you mind sharing to us the village questionnaire when you get home? If you can email it to us so that we will base our decision, our question, based on what you're going to say. Because if you're going to look at the community assessment of the global grant, it doesn't, it's very general. It's not about water per se.
No,
So I'm
no.
looking forward to have your
Happy to share it. I have a memory stick in my backpack because I gave a video presentation last night and also give a PowerPoint presentation about a successful WASH project I was involved with in Papua New Guinea. I'll check my memory stick. I may have the questionnaire on the memory stick and I can give it to Romy tonight.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Or tomorrow. But if you're talking traditional groups, already you're talking about traditional ownership of land. There will be people who say, this is my family's land and this is our boundaries, and this might be other people have other land nearby. So I'd be almost certain there will be some ownership issues that needs to be negotiated. And it needs to be started at the very beginning of the project, potential project. I don't like using the word project because people get excited to think, oh, we've already got a project. I like to use the word, we've got a proposal. We're working on a proposal that may eventually become a project if the feasibility is proven. So there's some steps there. Now, I know it's only language, but people do lock in and think, oh, we've got a project. Well, you don't have a project of a global grant until Rotary International in Chicago actually approves the application and approves the budget. Only then do you have a project to deliver.
Gotcha. Very good. Amix, anything more?
Okay, so my takeaway is assessment, screening, go to the community, have a dirty hands, do all of your assessment, because if there's wrong assessment, the intervention is wrong already. And the impact is futile. It's waste. It's
waste of time and effort.
Yes, I totally agree. And if we cannot assess, and even you did not interview the community, we see it as a problem, but they're not seeing it as a problem. So there's a problem there. So we must see it in.
You're the only one who's thinking there's a need for that.
Yes.
Yes.
Because as nurses, we see it. There's a problem in the hand sanitation. There's a problem of diarrhea, but they are not seeing it as a problem as a community. We must understand in their perspective. That's the importance of needs assessment, and it must be seriously done. It's not one click away. It's not one day assessment only. You do it in a empirical, scientific manner. Because if we do not have that evidences that there's a problem, thus all of the plans are futile. All of the plans will be gone to waste. And it is it's hard to take that all of our efforts will be gone to waste if the community will not accept all of these projects. And I totally agree with Cadre Ian that have time to do your feasibility, because your feasibility will create a projection. Your feasibility will create your connection and interconnection, tapping all of your resources in your area. Because again, we can do so much. Rotary can do so much. Probably the budget are there, but the people, diba? The logistics. Okay, you must think ahead. Okay, that's planning. And it's not a 1 year, 2 year, 3 years plan. Probably it takes, as RC Rosario have experienced, it takes a lot of years to have a somewhat perfect model of one. Okay? I learned a lot from it.
Yes. And my takeaway is, not to really rush it. I'd like to tell that to all Rotarians. Sometimes they will call me, I have a proposal. There's a good project. They are the one who's thinking about it. You have where, first of all, the first question that I'm asking them is it what you're thinking, or is it what they are? Is what you're thinking is, if what are they are looking for, sometimes you see that as a problem, and like what Mid says, and if there's no sense of ownership in the community, then they will not take care of it. It
No.
will just go into it will just go into waste. And for all we know, 6 years since that time that the global plan has been accomplished, or so, and now it's still existing. It's really good, right? It's amazing. So now we have to make that. We have to go back to all the Rotarians. You have to call PP Romy and to ask question. And now we know Ian, no? We can also email him, and we can
Yeah.
get him again here in KatoTALK, because we can just call him and and talk about WASH lengthily and about the questionnaire and the success that he said that you have a formula already that you have established in Papua New Guinea, and
Okay.
it might be useful here for us in the Philippines. So it
Yeah.
will save us a lot of time.
So the other thing that I brought over with me is a handheld GPS Garmin device.
What is
where
that?
It's down in the car, but it
Tracker.
sits in the palm of your hand and connects to about 10 satellites, and it gives me the XY on the map and the height of where I am.
Very good.
So I've been mapping the whole Mayuro Lumbergun project by driving around in the car and finding the pipes, the stand pipes, and where the ends of the pipes are. I'll go back and work with my Rotary colleague Wes Nichols in Brisbane, and we'll create a map, a photo-based map with all the pipelines on, which we can give back to RCC to use to manage the system. Now, if that is done at the same time that you're doing the community assessment and the initial talk, you've got information you can design a project from. And if you find a spring, you'll know whether there's enough fall, gravity, height difference for the water to trickle, which we did in Papua New Guinea. The two projects we've done have been spring-based water supplies, no moving parts, works 24/7, really simple. So if that's your mountain project, then the possibility is you need to ask the local people, where are the good, reliable springs near you that could become part of your water supply system?
Yes.
Just an idea. But this Garmin mapping gives you all the information you need to do the design, and then from that you can work out your quantities, you can get your costing, and you can check whether water will get to those people with or without pumping or whatever. So it's very powerful, very simple. They're not that expensive.
Yeah. So
Romy's
It's
already
not
checked the
expensive?
price. Yeah,
The device,
Available-
how much does it cost?
it's a small one.
$120 of
Yeah,
US.
150.
Oh,
150 euros.
or Ian, before a water project, is it okay to request a cadre in Rotary International to look at the feasibility of the project before we do it? Is it possible
That's
to do
good.
that?
That's a good idea.
Not
Well,
only after
Well,
the
yeah, I mean, the reality is there are other cadres in the Philippines you can call upon.
oh yeah. Maybe
Designer.
Well, there's Armando, there's Romel, and there's Evangelisti. There's three that I know straight away.
And PP
but
Romel is he's my closest friend, and he's one of my mentor in Rotary. So I'll probably call him. Yeah,
There you
Romel.
go.
Thank you.
So the
Yeah.
other problem in Rotary, sometimes you don't even know in your district you've got a cadre sitting there waiting to assist, but nobody asks. So it's a matter of trying to find out who they are, what their background is, and can you have a professional relationship with them? Will they give you frank and fair advice, and will they be responsive and helpful and whatever.
But
So
I'll
it's a
still
matter
call
of
you.
We have Gob Chito Recto. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
our mentor for this water project as well. And
Yes, yes.
we have also Bernie Hornelia of Rotary
Oh
Club of
yeah.
Batangas.
I think
Yeah,
I'm also a global grant chair during that time, the Lumbagan. Is it the term of Gob Angie?
yeah,
No.
he's with us.
Yes, yes.
He's with us.
I mean,
He's my
uh is
mentor.
it is it during that term? Teacher Romy?
Uh,
No.
no, not that one. This
Not
global
that one.
grant,
The one that you work with.
The Lumbangan was approved through during the term of Gob Ray Atienza.
All right, all right, all right. Okay. Megs?
so yeah. I as if you can find a cadre who could come with you and help with some of the initial site inspections, would be excellent. But involving the cadre as early as possible is best,
Yeah, yeah.
because it may well be what you're proposing is going to be too expensive. It's going to be a huge thing that it's not a Rotary project, it's a local government project, or it's a government project, and you can just walk away and go, look, it looked like a Rotary project, but it's too big or too complicated, or there's issues that will never be resolved, like some land issues. And if you hear of, court cases, you just go, whoa, just stay away. So it would be, if you can document something about the proposal. I'll give you an example of a proposal that I've seen from Papua New Guinea, where they were going to build a very large shed so they could put rainwater tanks and capture water under the shed. I looked at some photos of the hospital, and they've got corrugated iron roofs on all the buildings in the hospital and no tanks connected. So why are you building a shed to connect? You can just connect the existing buildings to rainwater. It's a nonsense, So those sort of projects should be killed day one before they even, and they put a global grant together and submitted a global grant. And it's just a nonsense, absolute nonsense. So there's a good example of something that should have been killed really early, but they didn't. They wandered off and spent time and money, and they got prices from hardware stores about, and I've got no idea of what pipe work was involved in getting the water to the other parts of the complex. Nothing. So this is what I keep saying. We need more front-end engineering on some of these WASH projects.
That's right.
Community is important, and you've got to have that component. It'll fail if it's just all engineering. You need the community and the engineering working together. Yeah.
That's great. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of learning this session. However, because of the limited time, I love how we discuss all of these. However, because of the limited time, let's wrap this up. So might I ask first, Empiness, for her probably closing or message to all of us.
Okay, thank you very much to all of you, especially to our special guest, our Cadre, and we are very grateful of having Cadre Ian Cameron, and also thanks to two engineers there, Engineer Romy Briton and Engineer Ian Cameron. Thanks for all the suggestions, your monitoring and evaluation, your feedbacking, and also your technical assistance given to us. And I hope that it will help us to do more for the betterment of our projects, the RCC, Mayuro, and Lumbangan. Thank you very, very much.
Can I have my take home?
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
My last word of advice is, when you have such kind of project, the number one thing that you should have in your heart is patience. you must have patience to control yourself. Don't get angry easily. Yeah, you have to check, and you have to be careful in the words that you put in, and you have to pray so that the next morning you wake up, there will be a solution to your problem. Okay, so that's one secret that we have.
Wow.
So we would like to thank everybody, okay, especially to our community, the community of Mayuro and Lumbangan, and to the Rotary Club of Rosario, and also to the municipality of our town, especially to our Mayor Liobi Morpe. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, and to all the Rotarian of District 3820.
And I'd like to thank you all for this opportunity to be part of a KatoTALK episode. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. It's an honor having you in the show. For me, Migs, my takeaway is from magical president. From there's no in Australia they don't use the magical. They use the president. President Ian, of his club. Is the
no. And
yes,
unfortunately, next year there's no theme, so
theme
you'll
anymore.
just come back to normal presidents like
I
us.
know. So my takeaway from everything that you share is the technical innovation. I know now the importance of that, and of course the collaboration with the experts. So in all my succeeding global grant, I wouldn't forget that. And thank you, Ian, for sharing your expertise. And Migs, allow me to say this, to PP Romy, who sets a very high standard with regards his entire family sharing their dedication and passion for service. It's truly a beautiful thing to see. You give us an inspiration to involve our family in Rotary, and you are inspiration to all of us because of your involvement to Watch Project and being a leader to lead an impactful project to the community. And salute to you. I always call him Tito Romy, but since we are here, so I will call him Pipi Romy. But then, Tito,
thank you.
We love your family, and and we're really, really proud of everything that you're doing for Rotary and in the class of all the Rotarians. So thank you for being a very good role model to all of us.
Thank you, Lizel. Thanks.
Okay, to wrap this up, again, I want to emphasize that every step is a challenge to all of us. But make sure every step has you have that inspiration, right motivation, and don't quit, because there's a lot of people who depends on you. Probably there's time that you will fall, there's time you will fail, there's time you will be rejected, but it is redirection and rerouting. I believe in that. There's no end, but rerouting, repurpose, recalibration is the best word of that. And if you have the right motivation, even it's hard, there's pain, there's hardship, you will continue, because the end goal is your goal. The end
That's
goal
correct.
is to help people. That's altruism, service beyond yourself. So to that, thank you very
So
much.
can I on that
Sorry.
One last word.
on your topic, my last word is my favorite quote from the I Ching is perseverance furthers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Couldn't agree more.
And we thank the RCC of Mayuro Lumbangan, especially to our RCC President, Dory Makatangay.
Yeah.
She's a very energetic woman.
Ian, enjoy the rest of your stay in the Philippines. Enjoy the food. And try balot. Tito Romy, you have to let him try balot. Have you tried it already?
It doesn't like to eat balot.
Oh, that's so sad. At least you have to try one.
Thank you very much.
Thank
guys.
you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank you very
everyone.